From GitPod Local, here are your headlines for this special Sunday, September 28th, 2025 update. And what I thought would be a nice, lazy Sunday turned into the news dump of the year. Scrooge McDuck tells a cocktail connoisseur, thrice married, and anti secure communicator Hegseth to send troops to Portland to protect ICE facilities using, quote, full force. Portland, who's had a steep decline in homicides by 51% in the first half of 2025 compared to the same period in 2024, and decreases in other violent crimes like aggravated assaults and robberies as well, do not need the National Guard on their streets. But when has that stopped President McDuck before? The new insurrection and abuse of the National Guard comes as the president's ratings on everything that matters is not only in the negative, but negative in the double digits. 3 people are dead and 6 more were hurt after a 40-year-old white man shot at a North Carolina waterfront bar from his boat in what authorities are calling a, quote, highly premeditated attack. At this reporting, we're still not sure of the motivation of the shooting, but this is just another case of the ever-growing problem in America, white men and mass shootings. I'll give it to them. They're getting creative by using land, sea, and air. Multiple people were shot at a Michigan Mormon church this morning. A different 40-year-old drove his car into the church, opened fire on hundreds of people, and then the church caught on fire. The suspect was killed on location. This is an evolving story, so we will have more on this later. While we do not know the motivation of this tragic shooting, we do know that if we had stronger gun laws, this might not have happened. At least 4 people are dead and more remain missing after devastating flash floods hit Arizona. A state of emergency was declared on the city of Globe, which is around 90 miles east of Phoenix. Officials said their primary objective was to search and rescue in the waterways following severe rain on Friday that continued into the weekend. They're also particularly concerned with hundreds of propane tanks, which may have been washed downstream, that would cause a major hazmat issue. Russell Nelson, who was the 17th president of the Mormon Church, died at 101. A whole nation just groaned while looking at their 80-year-old fast food enthusiast, 15 Diet Coke habit, egregiously applied orange makeup president. Scrooge McDuck has decided to join the pep rally at Quantico in Virginia this week. The meeting which this military brat and history connoisseur is calling a gross security mistake by having all of our generals and the Secretary of Defense and President in one place. News about the meeting broke Thursday, and President McDuck didn't seem to know about it when first asked by reporters during the Oval Office appearance. McDuck's participation in the meeting raises the likelihood of a politicized event in front of a nonpartisan audience of military leaders, which is such a good use of our general's time and what I'm also calling this could have been an email. And finally, I think, Mayor Adams of New York City has announced that he is suspending his re-election bid. In what is already a heavy news day, thinking we wouldn't notice, the future former mayor was hampered by legal problems, a lack of money, and unshakable ties to President McDuck, and also bribing journalists via sour cream and onion chips. Those are your headlines for this special Sunday edition. We released a recap of all the news this week already, so if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, share, and restack on Substack. We keep up with the news for you so you don't have to, even on a Sunday. Aren't we sweet? Talk to you tomorrow. Get Pod Local, where we start locally while thinking globally.